Oh, wow. Hey everybody, Luxem Swirl here. New day, new tumbler project. We are going to revisit the idea of taking a cup that didn't turn out the way I like. It's beautiful, but it's not what I wanted. And we are going to use heat transfer vinyl to press a design onto this. Last time I saved a failed cup, I used Mr. Nola's Glitter's sticky sheet, and that was great. I'll link to that below if you haven't seen that one. I wanted to do something a little different this time because we've been playing with the idea that you can use heat transfer vinyl in a tumbler press and it will work. And I will link to that video below if you haven't seen that yet either. The first two tests I did, one was on stainless steel and one was on a spray painted tumbler. And this time we are going to try pressing HTVRont's Rose Gold heat transfer vinyl onto a resined tumbler. So this cup has resin and alcohol inks, actually my Micahol inks, and it's cured more than 72 hours, so it's fully cured now. Mr. Nola's Glitter's glass coat epoxy is rated up to 500 degrees, and this heat transfer vinyl needs to be pressed on at 300 degrees, so everything should go swimmingly. But we'll find out. Again, another experiment. So I have my design all cut out. This is artwork I found on Etsy. I will link to it below. And I'm just going to start weeding. And we'll see if we can do this. All right, I made a couple of mistakes where I started to accidentally pull up the design instead of the part that was to be weeded. So I stopped myself and sort of pushed them back in place. Hopefully they won't be that noticeable once we get this on the cup. The dimensions for this is a 30-ounce skinny with a layer of resin on it. So the dimensions are 9 inches from here to here, avoiding the absolute curves. And then it's like 10.1 inches around. So that's what I made our graphic. This is not going to be pretty. This seam will not look good. Clearly, this is something I need to work on. But it won't have a big gap in the middle of it either. I hope. All right, that's as good as it's going to get. The seam will not be a good thing. After all that struggling, I will one more time say this is an experiment. This may not work. I'm just warning you. People get so disappointed when my experiments don't turn out well because I guess it's a waste of time. All right, I will see you out at the tumbler press. All right, we are out here at the tumbler press. I've turned it on. It's still set for 300 degrees Fahrenheit and a 15-second press time from the last two cups we did. Again, if you haven't seen that one, I'll link to that video below. Those were 20-ounce cups. This is a 30-ounce. So I've had to adjust the arm here so that the space is bigger, but we still get pressure on the cup. So now it's just a matter of waiting for this to heat up. Because this is a 30-ounce, it's also longer as well as wider. I'm not entirely sure that the temperature gets hot enough at the very outer edges. Do one press here and then one press like this, and then they do the 180 and they do another press like this and another press like this. I may try that. And again, resin is heat rated to 500 degrees. We're only going to 300 here, so doing 4 presses should not be a problem. Well, if I'm going to do 4 presses, then I will put it in up to here. I'll wait for it to get back to 300, and this is press 1. Wait for it to count down. Okay. I'll rotate it. 180. Let it get back up to temperature. Okay, now I'll press it a second time. All right, bring it down here, turn it back, press it a third time. And then 180 degrees, and a fourth time. Okay. Pull it out and let it cool completely, and then we'll do a cold peel and see what we got. And we're back. Okay, let's find out what happened. It's all totally cold, cool to the touch. All right, well, we already know the seam is kind of a disaster. I'm not going to worry about that. See how the rest of it went. All right, maybe we'll go the other way. We'll go the other way. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I did not expect this. Okay, so it does matter. The resin cracked. Wow. The resin completely cracked. And I didn't have the pressure set that high on the tumbler press, but the heat plus the pressure cracked the resin in a couple places. Wow, especially this. This is the most noticeable one. Look at that. Right down to the black underneath. Huh. Now, the question is, if I put more resin over the top, what happens? Is this just thoroughly unstable anyway? Or would more resin on top secure everything? I mean, I don't know the answer. I don't know. If your resin cracks, but there's more resin on top, I don't know. Let's find out, because I was going to resin this anyway, and now that it's got some problems, but that rose gold is on there, looking pretty good most of the places. So I'm curious what'll happen next. So let's just continue with the experiment. I will mix up KS Liquid Stone Ultra UV. I'm not going to put anything in it. I'm just going to put probably about 20 milliliters on here, and then we'll see what it looks like when it's all set up tomorrow. And we're back. All right, I put one layer of resin on this over the cracked bits. And because they were cracked bits, the resin that I put over the whole cup, which is nice and smooth everywhere there's not a cracking issue, has seeped into the cracks. I mean, that makes perfect sense now that I think about it. I wasn't really thinking about it earlier. So I can still feel the cracked bits. Everywhere there's a crack, it's seeped in. And I'm hoping what that means is that is now all sealed. All the cracked bits have been sealed. And if I put another layer over it, I should get a smooth finish, like everywhere there isn't a crack issue right now. So I think I'm going to do that. I mean, at this point, why not? Why not keep trying to see what happens, if we can get an actual cup out of this or not. I don't think I would ever sell this. I will not be able to vouch for the structural integrity of the resin over the whole cup. This is mostly just for experimental purposes. I will not do this again. If anybody's wondering, I will not take a resined tumbler and try and tumbler press heat transfer vinyl onto it. Yeah, I won't be doing this experiment again. We know what happens now. If anybody else wants to try it and gets a different result, please let me know. But I think this is the end of this experiment for me. But I'm going to put another layer of resin on it because why the heck not? And then we'll take a look at it, final sunshine shot outside and see what it looks like.